So good afternoon. So I'm Pooja Vijaykumar, and now we are about to begin the discussion for the reading test reading module. So today I would just like to give a few instructions for those of you who are attempting for the very first time. So this is a set of general instructions that is for the reading subtest. There are basically three parts, that is part A, B and C. So it is divided into three, and you will have a total of 42 questions and you need to solve 20 questions from part A, and you will have 6 questions from part B and 16 questions. This is the way the questions are divided. And regarding the time allotted, you will have a total of 60 minutes to crack the test, and of which 15 minutes will be allotted to you to solve part A and 45 minutes for part B and C together. So that is regarding the division of questions and the time allotted. And now, so today we are going to have a discussion of part C module of the reading subtest. So part C basically assesses your ability to identify the details, meaning and opinion in two different set of text. Each text will be about 800 words each, and it will be based on topic of interest to healthcare. So it will be healthcare related topic in general. And so as I told you, you will have 2 long tests, and each text will be followed by a set of 8 questions each. So you will have a total of 16 questions, and the nature of questions will be 4 option multiple choice in nature. And so now let's go about the approach of cracking, that is part C. Okay, so that is, first what you need to do is you need to read the question to know what information you need to. Okay, that is the first thing that you need to. And then now read the content of the text on the entire C text that will be consisting of several paragraphs. So that is not possible. Do not end up reading the whole text at one go. You need not do that. You don't have that much of time. So what you need to do is read the first question and then read the paragraph in which the answer to that question lies. Okay. And usually C part will be in such a way that the first question in the C section will be from the first paragraph, second question from the second paragraph, third question from the third paragraph, and so on up till question 8. Then begins the next extract. Okay, that is C2, and then again you will have a set of another 8 questions. Okay, so it's usually in order. Okay, so you need not read the entire set of text like in part A to find the answer to each question. You just need to read the paragraphs in order. Okay, so first you need to read the question, then read the paragraph. If it's the first question, read the first paragraph, then and find the answer to the. In cases where you have this, a lot of paragraphs, like if it's like 8 questions and you have 10 or 11 paragraphs, in that case you might have paragraphs in which from which you might not have any question or any answer. So there will be extra paragraphs also in rare cases, and in cases where you have just 6 or 7 paragraphs, you might have 1 or 2 questions from a paragraph. Okay. So that is the usual pattern. So, and after reading the content of that paragraph, then you need to read the answer options and then evaluate the options. Just go through it, decide and choose the most appropriate answer to that particular question. Okay. So either you can choose a direct method, like if you have a direct answer, definitely you can go with that. It's very explicitly mentioned, then you can go with that. But in cases where you have indirect answers, where you the answers are not explicitly mentioned, in that cases you might need to go with the elimination method, wherein you need to find enough evidence to prove the other options wrong, and then you can come to the answer. Okay, and then check whether you get an overall meaning from that paragraph. Okay, so that is in case when you have indirect answers. Okay, in that case you can do the elimination method by eliminating all the other 3 options by finding enough evidence to prove that incorrect. Okay. So now that's about general instructions to crack part C. So now we are going to have the reading discussion of a part C extract. So as you can see on the screen, you can see an extract that is you will have, I think, 8 paragraphs, and it will be followed by a set of 8 questions. So for your convenience, for you to be able to solve these questions in this live session, I have arranged or restructured it in such a way that each question is after or following each paragraph. Okay, so after one paragraph you will have the first question, after the second paragraph you will have the second question, and so on. So for your convenience I have restructured it in this way. Okay, usually how it is that you will have 8 paragraphs or 9 paragraphs and then followed by a set of 8 questions together. So now you can see the paragraph and the question at the same time, so that it will be easier for you to solve the questions now in this live session. So now I think you can see this paragraph, right, and then the question and the options. So I'll give you a minute to read this paragraph by yourself and decide and choose the most appropriate answer, and give in your choice of answers in the comment section in Facebook. Okay, and then we'll solve it together. Okay, so now I'll read the paragraph. So, in an aging world, the rampant destruction of families and emotions due to Alzheimer's disease is increasing. Around the planet, 47 million people are living with the disease at an annual cost of $236 billion when other forms of dementia are factored in. Estimated 5.4 million Americans suffering from this disease require 18.1 billion hours of unpaid care each year. An essentially daunting reality during a time when Medicare and Social Security are under attack as many as other costs exist. By 2050, Alzheimer's treatment and care is expected to top $1 trillion, bumping Medicare costs by 360%. So that was what the paragraph was about, and the question was, what's the author's concern in the first paragraph? Okay, so there is some concern that the author has expressed in the very first paragraph, and the options are, and you need to find that out. The options are that Alzheimer's disease is on the rise, B, that the costs for the treatment for Alzheimer's disease are on the rise, C, that the unpaid care for Alzheimer's disease is on the rise, and D, that families are being destroyed by Alzheimer's disease. These are the four options, and you can put in your choice of answers, and I'll read that out. Okay, so I think 𝐂𝐸𝐿ToKoNayar has put in B as answer. Suraj Nishant has put in C as answer. Okay, and what about the rest of you? You can put in your choice of answers in the comment section in Facebook. Is BC Nobi has put in option B. Apsi Leo has put in B. So let's look at the correct answer for this question, and the correct answer is B, indeed, that the costs for the treatment for Alzheimer's disease are on the rise. So I'll just highlight the answer. Okay, and I'll tell you the reason why it's so. So look at this paragraph here. Over here, it's written that by 2050, the Alzheimer's treatment and care is expected to top $1 trillion. That means the cost for the Alzheimer's treatment and care, that is expected. Yeah, yes, it is expected to top $1 trillion, bumping Medicare costs up by 360%. Okay, so that means the Medicare cost is going to rise. Okay, it is on the rise, and it is bumping to up by 360%. That's a 360% rise over there. Okay, so that is the reason why we have chosen B as the answer. Okay, and regarding the other options, I'll tell you why we cannot take the other options for an answer. Okay, this is the reason, this is a sentence, and the reason why we have chosen B, and I'll tell you why we cannot choose A. That Alzheimer's disease is on the yeah, that is option A, is that Alzheimer's disease is on the rise. Okay, it is not mentioned that Alzheimer's disease is on the rise. It's about the cost for the treatment that they are telling that it is going to rise by about 360%. Okay, about the disease itself, they are not telling that it is on the rise. Okay, that is why we have eliminated A. And option C, that the unpaid care for Alzheimer's disease is on the rise. No, they are telling that the estimated 5.54 million Americans suffering from the disease require 18.1 billion hours of unpaid care each year. They require, that means that is in future. Okay, they might require, or they require that much each year. Okay, so they are not telling that it is on the rise. Each year it's almost the same. Rising means there should be an increase, right? But there is no shown increase. They have telling that each year it's the same, like 5.4 million they require. Okay, so it's not on the rise actually. And option B, that families are being destroyed by Alzheimer's disease. They are not telling that families are getting destroyed or any such thing, okay, because of the disease. Okay, that is not definitely mentioned over there, and that is how we eliminated A, C, and D, and we have reached option B as an answer. Okay, so now moving on to the next question and the paragraph related to that. So the question is, what brought about the financial difficulties of Eli Lilly? And this is the paragraph in which you have the answer. So I want you to read. I'll give you a minute, and then you can come up with your choice of answers, and then we'll solve it together. Okay, so I'll read this paragraph now. Eli Lilly's recent attempt at a cure has set the company back hundreds of millions of dollars and may result in thousands of layoffs. High hopes for its drug, solanzumab, were crashed after recent failed late-stage clinical trial. The company's stock has fallen 11.6% in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so that was the paragraph, and the question was, what brought about the financial difficulties of Eli Lilly? Options are A, the high hopes that the company had for their drug for Alzheimer's. B, the inefficiency that the drug demonstrated in the final stage of the clinical trial. C, the effort to introduce a cure for Alzheimer's. And D, the fact that their stocks plummeted by 11.6%. Okay, so you can put in your choice of answers in the comment section on Facebook. Okay, the question was, what brought about the financial difficulties? So they are talking about that over here. That is Eli Lilly's recent attempt at a cure. Okay, he had tried or attempted at a cure, and that has set the company back hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, setting the company back, or setting something back, means to cost large amounts of money. Okay, that is what has set the company back, or set something back means. Okay, it had means to cost large amounts of money. Okay, so it has cost a lots of money, and also it may result in thousands of layoffs in the sense dismissals. Okay, so that means a lot of people might have lost jobs. Okay, so that is what they intend to say. So high hopes for its drug were crashed after a recent fail. Crashed in the sense cancelled. The high hopes were cancelled or rejected after a recent failed late stage clinical trial, and the company's stock has fallen 11.6% in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so Yeah, so let me look at your choice of answers. You can put in your choice of answer in the comment section in Facebook. Okay, Atulya Prakashan has responded with B, Amalraj Binoy with B. Any other answers? Surid Nishant with B and Sabu with B. Most of us have put in B. Okay, so let me just tell you that what brought about the financial difficulties. So they are telling about that company has been set back by hundreds of millions of dollars. That means a lot of loss. They have this has led to a lot of loss and also layoffs, thousands of layoffs. That means so many people lost their job also. These are the financial difficulties they are trying to express. And what brought about the financial difficulties? That means what is the reason? Because they have attempted for a cure, at a cure. Okay, that is this sentence, the very first sentence, and that has resulted in these financial difficulties. Okay, and that is why your answer should be C, the effort to introduce a cure for Alzheimer's. That has resulted in this these kind of financial. Okay, so I hope that is clear to you. And now moving to question number 3, that is and the paragraph. Okay, so I'll give you a minute to read the paragraph and answer the questions and choose the most appropriate answer and put in your choice of answers in the comment section. Okay, so let's read this paragraph. So, solanezumab targeted beta amyloid deposits in the brain for the last 25 years. Researchers speculated the deposits of the amyloid peptide initiates a sequence of events that ultimately lead to AD dementia. Thus far, companies like Eli Lilly and Biogen have failed to produce potential remedies using this hypothesis. This has not stopped research, however. Earlier this week, neuroscience professor 𝐔𝐩𝐝𝐚𝐿, who is also the director of MIT's Pike Institute for Learning and Memory, announced the results of a potentially game-changing early-stage trial. So that was what the paragraph was about, and the question is Eli Lilly and Biogen have. So what have they done? Okay, something related to them. Okay, so option A is base their efforts to develop a cure for Alzheimer's on the same assumption. B, spend 25 years carrying out research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's. C, not given up their hopes for discovering a cure for Alzheimer's. D, failed in their attempt to produce a common cure for. So these are the four options. So what do you think is the answer for this question? You can put in your choice of answers in the comment section in Facebook. Okay, I can see Silji Martin has responded with option C, and Devika Deva with C, Krishna Rune with C, Victoria with D, and Harsha Kurup with D, Lijuki Nair with C. Okay, so C Sabu and Tutu with C. Yeah, so let's solve this question. So they are talking about Eli Lilly and Biogen. Okay, what have they done? Okay, it's something about them that we need to find out. So let's look at each option. A, base their efforts to develop a cure for Alzheimer's on the same assumption. Okay, so did they base their efforts to develop a cure for Alzheimer's on the same assumption? Same assumption in the sense that the same hypothesis. Okay, that means, yeah, I think you can see this over here. It's the third line. Thus far, companies like Eli Lilly and Biogen have failed to produce potential remedies using this hypothesis. Hypothesis means assumption. That means they have based their efforts to develop a cure based on the same hypothesis or same assumption. Okay, so and that is why you have A as the answer. Okay, using this hypothesis means they are using the same hypothesis, right? And that is the same assumption. And why we have eliminated B, C, and D? Let's look at that. Option B is spent 25 years carrying out research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's. Did the companies Eli Lilly and Biogen spend 25 years? The question is about Eli Lilly and Biogen. Have they spent 25 years? No. It's about, look at this. They have just mentioned that researchers have speculated about the deposits of amyloid peptide etc for the last 25 years. Researchers have speculated so and so. It's not about the companies Eli Lilly and Biogen, and they have not spent 25 years. Okay, it's not about them, and that is why we have eliminated B. Look at C. Not given up their hopes for discovering a cure for Alzheimer's. No, they have not written anything or type anything that is relating to Eli Lilly and Biogen. What they have written in the fifth line is that this has not stopped research. What has not stopped research? That the companies Eli Lilly and Biogen have failed, okay, in their attempt to produce a potential remedy. They have failed, okay, but research has not been stopped. It's not about them that they have not stopped the research. It is said about in general that this failure has not stopped the research. That means other people have still continued research. Who are the other people? That is neuroscience professor Lee Husai. Okay, he has again continued the research. It's about other people. They have continued research on the same, based on the same thing. Okay, so they have not mentioned that about Eli Lilly and Biogen giving up their hopes, or have not, they have not stopped research. It's not about them. Nothing is mentioned about them after their failure. After their failure, they have generally mentioned that the research has not been stopped and some other people are continuing it, like Professor Lee Hui. Okay, so yes, and that is why we have eliminated C. And what about option D? Failed in their attempt to produce a common cure for Alzheimer's. Have they mentioned that both of them have tried to produce a common cure for Alzheimer's? No. They have only mentioned that they have tried to produce potential remedies using a same hypothesis, but the cure may be different. They just wanted to find cure for Alzheimer's. So cure, the type of cure, or what kind of cure might be different. It's just that they have tried to do it based on the same assumption or hypothesis. Okay, so cure might not be common, okay, or the same. And that is how we eliminated B, C, and D, and we have reached A. So I hope that is clear to you. And moving to the next question. And the paragraph, you can read the paragraph. I'll give you a minute and then we'll discuss it together. Okay, so I'll read this. So, in a forthcoming Nature article, Tsai and her co-authors report LED lights flickering at a frequency that stimulates gamma oscillations at 40 Hz, substantially reduces beta amyloid plaques in mice, targeting the brain's hippocampus, a critical region in memory formation and retention. Researchers temporarily suppressed these proteins. As with all such trials, the researchers remain cautiously hopeful. I says it's a big if because so many things have been shown to work in mice only to fail in humans. But if humans behave similarly to mice in response to this treatment, I would say the potential is just enormous because it's so non invasive and it's so accessible. So that was what the paragraph was about, and the question is what is Sai referring to in fourth paragraph when she says it's a big if, and the options are to the certainty of developing a new drug that would work on people, B to the uncertainty of developing a new drug that would work on people, C to the uncertainty of achieving the same results in humans as in mice, and D to the certainty of applying a treatment on humans that has already worked on. Okay, so what do you think the answer is? You can put in your choice of answers in the comment section in Facebook. Okay, so let me just highlight this sentence. Okay, so that is towards the mid. Can you see the sentence? Sai says it's a big if. So what do you mean by a big if? Okay, so big if means it's there is some sort of uncertainty. Okay, that means it is an idiom. Basically it is used to say or express that something is not likely or something is highly unlikely or something is uncertain. Okay, that is what a big if, it's an idiom. That okay, so that means there is some sort of uncertainty or something is not likely or something unlikely to happen. Okay, about what? Because so many things have been shown to work in mice and it may not work in humans. That means only to fail in humans. Okay, so and that is why your correct answer should be option C to the uncertainty because of the if and of achieving the same results in humans as in okay, because some results may have shown to have work in mice only to fail in humans. That means it may not work in humans. Okay, so they are uncertain about achieving the same results in humans as they have achieved in, and that is why it's C. Hope that's clear to you. So now moving on, the next paragraph and the question is what is optogenetics, and this is the paragraph. I'll give you a minute to read it and we'll solve it together. Okay, so I'll read this. 40 hertz is a typical gamma oscillation in human brains. These waves range from 20 5 to 100 hearts. Trials in size lab at other levels were not effective. Since 2009, researchers have been able to induce gamma waves in mice using optogenetics, a technique first dreamed up by Francis Crick in the late 90s that utilizes light in order to influence cellular activity in living tissues. It is now considered a breakthrough method for changing neuronal behavioral patterns. So the question is, what is optogenetics? So option A is a dreamed technique, B a technique that uses light to impact activity in cells, C a technique that uses light to impact in certain cells, and D a technique that changes neuronal behavioral patterns. And what do you think the answer is? You can put in your choice of answers in the comment section on Facebook. Okay, so I can see some of you coming up with your choice of answers. Mm, yeah. Okay, agency work is Shinju Baza. Let's put C as answer. Any more answers? Okay, so now let's just go through this. So what they have mentioned is optogenetics. So over here, optogenetics is a technique first dreamed up by Francis Crick in the late 90s that utilizes light in order to influence cellular activity in living tissues. Living tissues means cells. Okay, so it influence in the sense impact. Okay, so look at this option. B, a technique that uses light to impact. Impact in the sense influence, that is mentioned cellular activity. For that they have written activity, and living tissues they have commented with cells. Okay, and that is why answer is the correct answer is option B. It's not certain cells, they have not mentioned like only in some tissues or something like that. They have mentioned in living tissues, that means cells. Okay, so that is why option B is the correct answer. So now moving to the next paragraph and the question. So which of the following has not given any results in the treatment and prevention of Alzheimer's? Not given. Okay, so you need to find something that is not mentioned over here. Okay, so whenever you see something like not given, not mentioned, false or incorrect, you need to highlight that or underline that or circle that, because you should not read and end up finding something that is mentioned as you always do. Okay, so just highlight that, and I'll give you a minute to read this and then we'll solve it together. Okay, so I'm going to read this. Sai and her team found that an hour of stimulation at 40 Hz resulted in a 40-50% reduction in plaques, while enhancing gamma oscillations. The proteins returned to their original levels within a day, leaving researchers to wonder if longer course of treatment will more effectively or even permanently reduce protein growth. While the rush for a cure continues, preventive measures are becoming increasingly important. Meditation has been shown to influence gamma activity, while listening to binaural beats might yield positive results. The question is, which of the following has not given any results in the treatment of and prevention of Alzheimer's. And the correct answer is, some of you have responded, I guess. You can put in your choice of answers in the comment section in Facebook. Kamalraj Binoy and Suraj Nishant has put in option C as the answer. Any other answers? Can comment in the comment section in Facebook live. So here, let's just solve this question. So that is, look at option A, gamma wave stimulation. Is that mentioned? Yes, it is mentioned over here in the very first sentence. That is, Sai and her team found that an hour of stimulation resulted in a 40-50% reduction in plaques while enhancing gamma oscillations. So that is something they have got results for. And look at option B, meditation. Yes, meditation has been shown to influence gamma activities. Is also mentioned. And look at C, listening to binaural beats. Yes, it has shown to influence gamma activity. Also, while listening to binaural beats might yield positive results. Okay, so you got results for that also. Okay, so now it's option D, that is reducing protein growth. Look at that. Look at this sentence. The proteins, okay, they have mentioned something about proteins. So what have they mentioned about proteins? That is something we have to look. The proteins return to their original levels within a day, leaving researchers to wonder if longer course of treatment will more effectively or even permanently reduce protein growth. Okay, so what they have mentioned is, researchers are wondering if longer course of treatment will effectively or even permanently reduce protein growth. So they are just wondering if it will reduce or not. So they do not have a result for that. Okay, it has not given any results so far. They are just wondering if uh, it will reduce the protein growth, and so because of which, just that is why reducing protein growth, that is something that they have not mentioned as a result. That is why that is the answer. I hope that is clear. Okay, they are asking for something that is not mentioned. The other three are mentioned as giving results, and only this is something they are still wondering if it will bring or if it will bring any good results on. Okay, that is why we have opted D. So moving on to the next question, and question is instant access to technology, and this is the paragraph. I'll give you a minute to read it, and then we'll solve it. Okay, so I'm going to read this. Movement is among the most important facets of memory control and retention. One of the exercise's main benefits is neurogenesis, which includes the production of IGF-1 and BDNF proteins that are protective against dementia. Keeping active significantly increases your brain's hippocampal volume, resulting in improved memory. One of its most damaging effects is the outsourcing of memory that instant access to technology offers. Studies have shown using GPS reduces hippocampal volume. Checking the internet for every question instead of thinking through ideas and seeking alternate means is another memory training habit that has become commonplace. So the question was instant access to technology. Option A increases human memory, B has damaging effects, C reduces the risk of Alzheimer's, and D increases the risk of Alzheimer's. Okay, about instant access to technology, what have they mentioned about that? Yeah, look at this sentence. One of our eight's most damaging effects is the outsourcing of memory that instant access to technology offers. So, damaging effects, look at that option B. You have this option as damaging effects. So, what is mentioned about damaging effects? That is, outsourcing of memory is mentioned as damaging, bringing about damaging effects, not instant access to technology. Okay, so outsourcing of memory is definitely having damaging effects, and instant access to technology offers in a way that is the outsourcing of memory, because you don't think by yourself, you just search for answers to all your questions in the internet or using the technology. So that is why they have mentioned that outsourcing your memory is definitely a damaging effect and not instant access to technology. You cannot take B. And the instant access to technology, does that increase human memory? No, definitely not, because they are giving answers to all your questions. So in no way is it going to improve your memory. Okay. So and look at C, reduces the risk of Alzheimer's? No. How does it reduce the risk of Alzheimer's? That is also definitely not mentioned in the paragraph. And look at option D, increase the risk of Alzheimer's. Yes, it could actually increase the risk of Alzheimer's, because what have they mentioned is checking the internet for every question instead of thinking through ideas and seeking alternate means it is another memory draining habit in the sense, if that is draining your memory, it means it could lead to Alzheimer's definitely. Okay, because then you don't have memory retention. Okay, so and that is when you forget things. Okay, forgetting things, that is same as memory draining. Okay, so and that is why we say that instant access to technology increases the risk of Alzheimer's. Okay, so I hope you're clear with that. So now moving on to the next question and the extract. That's the last question. Is the following hasn't shown results in the prevention of Alzheimer's? Hasn't shown. Just highlight that, because you need to find something that hasn't shown results. Okay, not something that is mentioned over there. Okay, I'll give you a minute to read this and then we'll solve it together. Okay, so I'll read this. Perhaps most interestingly is the importance of cognitive variety, flexibility, and cultivating an ability to consider opposing beliefs. As with bones, our brains operate best when met with resistance. Social interactions and daydreaming are essential for memory retention as well. Engaging in creative pursuits and flow states are a way to strengthen your memory system, as are learning new languages and instruments. Basically, anything that challenges your current skill. So, look at this. The question was, which of the following hasn't shown results in the prevention of Alzheimer's? And option A is social interaction. So social interaction, has it shown a result? Yes, social interaction has shown result. There is social interaction, daydreaming are essential for memory retention. So that means it has shown result in the prevention of Alzheimer's. That is why they mentioned so. So look at B, daydreaming. That is also mentioned. Social interaction and daydreaming are essential for memory retention. That is also mentioned. So B is also mentioned. Look at C, learning a new language. Is that mentioned? Yes. Learning new language instruments, that is also strengthening your memory. Okay, so because that also challenges your current skill set. Okay, so A, B, and C is definitely mentioned. So they are asking for something that hasn't shown result. That means developing resistance. Okay, what about resistance? Have they mentioned here? As with bones, our brains, second line, our brains operate best when met with resistance. Our brain operates best when met with resistance. So they are not mentioning about Alzheimer's there or memory retention there. They are talking about the working of the brain there, and that will work best when met with resistance. So it's not about the result for the prevention of Alzheimer's that they have told about developing resistance. It's about the working of the brain and how best it works. Okay, so that means only D is not mentioned as being shown to bring about results in the prevention of Alzheimer's. Only D, A, B, and C is definitely has produced results in the prevention of. Okay, so that is why your answer is D. Okay, because that is with regard to the operation of the. Okay, so now we have concluded this reading discussion. So we are winding up this session. So I hope you have understood whatever we have discussed today. And so now, thanks for joining us. So see you next week and take care.